Super Bowl 57 now days away. If you're considering attending, the price for a ticket will cost you about as much as a used car. Julian Delgadio joining us now live with more on how much some of these are going for. And Julian, if you're buying, I'm in.
Oh, you know what? I will talk more about in a moment. But yeah, so the cheapest ticket inside of this thing is about $3,500. The most expensive ticket nearing $22,000. So it'll cost you a lot of money. I need to figure out what kind of jobs pay that amount of money to find a way inside the big game. Let's talk about this, though. I was talking to StubHub earlier today. They said they have about 3,000 tickets left, and we've seen about a 10% increase in sales in the last 24 hours. As far as which states are leading in ticket sales, Pennsylvania leading everybody with about 20% of total ticket sales. California coming in close second with about 13% of sales. Arizona third on that list. New Jersey fourth, and Florida fifth. Kind of surprising to see Kansas and Missouri not make the top five. That being said, the average median price for a ticket currently costs $6,800.
There's a lot of difference between, the getting price to the top level, depending on where you want to sit. But the tough thing is, I know a lot of fans, we get used to the idea that, hey, as the event gets closer, ticket prices normally go down. When it's a bucket list event, we have currently 49 different states with sales coming in. So this is not just strictly, hey, it's only people coming from Philadelphia or Kansas City. I mean, it's kind of a global, national event. So the prices and those trends kind of go out the window.
Now, Glenn, I got to tell you about this. So if you're going to like a Chili's later tonight or, some restaurant and you see somebody out there and they're like, hey, we have 2 hard tickets for sale right now. We'll give you a great deal on it, maybe $500, $1,000. Don't buy them because every ticket inside of the stadium behind me is all on your mobile phone. StubHub emphasized not falling for counterfeiters. Now, you mentioned buying you a ticket inside of this. Let me reach into the pocketbook for a minute here. I'm going to see if we can afford something for you. And let's see if we can get Jillian out here as well. Let's see, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if I'm going to have enough, guys.
I don't know. You look like you're loaded there. I got to ask for a raise, I think,
at this point. You know what? If it's all Monopoly money.
Oh, all right. Well, good thought anyway. We really appreciate it. And good advice on those tickets as well. Thanks so much.
Great.
Well, it's a player who won't be in the game and the team who saved his life getting the standing ovation at pregame festivities. ABC's Alex Stone has that story.
It was a medical emergency seen around the world when Bills safety Damar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest during Monday Night Football as a crowd, his team, and TV audience looked on. Now the medical team, given credit for saving Hamlin's life, is having its own Super Bowl moment. On Thursday night at NFL Honors, which mostly celebrates the NFL's top stars, the standing ovation was for the medical workers who jumped into action when Hamlin went down. And then this moment when Damar Hamlin surprised the crowd and walked on stage.
A special thank you to everyone on this stage for everything they did for me. The journey will continue.
One day earlier, Hamlin received the NFL Players Association Alan Page Community Award along with a $100,000 check to his foundation. And while Hamlin is still recovering, NFL Players Association Medical Director Tom Mayer making this bold claim in a radio interview this week.
I guarantee you, Veronica, that Damar Hamlin will play professional football again.
Hamlin sitting down exclusively with Michael Strahan to talk about the team who saved his life.
The assistant athletic trainer, Denny Kellington, he came out and administered CPR to you, alerted everyone else that the situation was pretty serious. What goes through your mind when you think about Denny and what he did?
I owe Denny my life, literally. Him just he loves to say he was just doing his job, but and which is true. That night he was literally the savior of my life. Administrating CPR on me.
The full interview will air Monday on Good Morning America. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
West Valley City Police are spreading the love ahead of Valentine's Day. They posted these pictures on social media this morning, saying Fridays are for big hugs. They aren't really embracing each other in love, though. They say they're practicing defense training. But maybe more defense tactics should involve a big ol' hug. Make the world a better place. It is National Ski Patrol Day, by the way. Snow Basin Resort posting these pictures to Twitter, thanking their hard-working crew, keeping people safe on the mountain. They say if you see a ski patroller today, make sure to thank them.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Alana Brophy. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
And we will send our thanks to all those ski patrollers today. You hope you never have to use them, but always glad they are there in case you need to.
Glenn, they've got me out of several pickles.
Why is that not a surprise to me?
I don't know. But did I hear you say make the world a better place? I liked that. Make the world a better place. Ski patrollers do it. Law enforcement does it. Mother Nature does it once in a while.
Alana does it.
Yeah, I try, Glenn. I try. Look at this great live camera over on the eastern side of the state. It's 39 degrees in Moab, and that is just a stunning shot. I just saw some ducks on the Colorado. The water isn't cold enough for them to not want to go in it. For me, yes, but clear skies, not just in eastern Utah. We're seeing it along the Wasatch Front. Live look at West Valley. Our Wasatch, beautiful. We're starting to see haze build back, and that's not a surprise with high pressure in control, and it's going to stay that way as we make it through our weekend. You notice that high pressure there. You hear us say that, but what does that actually mean? Well, it's a bit of a storm block. That ridge takes over, and we watch moisture go around the ridge, so it's going to be to the north of us, to the south of us, and that means that we'll get some clouds, but we're going to stay dry for the next couple of days. As you look at air quality, we are expecting unhealthy air to make an appearance in Salt Lake and Cache Valley by tomorrow. So your Saturday, you're going to notice more haze, and it will turn to smog in some locations. Eastern Utah looking at elevated particulate matter, moderate air for the rest of northern Utah. So we know air quality is something we're going to have to battle until we get our next storm, and we're a few days away from that. Along the Wasatch Front in Salt Lake County, where we've seen clean air for most of the day, we made it into the 40s. It's still sitting at 40 degrees, which is really nice. If you're inverted, you're not getting that warm. We get 30s for the next several hours, dropping below the freezing point, and then the haze builds back. Okay, so we need a storm. We're just not going to get one. Rain potential shows that we've got wet weather all around us in the west, but as we zoom in and look at Utah, we stay dry. That gives you the path of the storm system. Here's the reason why. So our ridge is in effect. That kind of slides over to the east. Clouds sneak underneath the ridge as we head into tomorrow, indicating that there's more moisture in our atmosphere, but it's associated with this area of low pressure that digs into the desert southwest. That kind of meanders to the south of us as we get through the weekend. It will increase winds and cloud cover in the Beehive State, but we stay dry. The exception here would be the Four Corners area. You watch as that low as we head into late Sunday and early Monday brings the chance of a little bit of unsettled activity. Then we get a break in the action, so to say, on Monday to start off our work week. That's when haze will be rough, but we're keeping our eye on this next system. It dips in and it comes in late Tuesday. It brings the potential for snow in central and southern Utah, but northern Utah is not out of the mix right now. As you watch this model, it's got wraparound, and as we get Tuesday into Wednesday, so that's Valentine's Day into Wednesday, we get the chance of seeing that snowfall holding on. So we'll get some moisture there, and it's not just for the mountains, but portions of the Beehive State will see valley accumulation as well. So we've got to wait a couple of days, but that will hopefully clean out any and building inversion and our air quality. 29 tomorrow in Cache Valley, 40s expected in Salt Lake, 30s in Castle Country, 40s in Cedar City, and upper 50s in St. George, where they hit the 60s today. It's beautiful down there in southern Utah. Slight chance of moisture Tuesday into Wednesday in southern Utah, and that's because of that storm system, which it looks like right now is targeting the south more so than the north, but we're not going to be left out of the action. The potential is still there. Haze builds through Monday. We don't want the ridge to stay around. We want to welcome in that Valentine's Day storm because it will help us with the air, but we also love the moisture. These are our accumulating months, so I say bring it on.
Yep, as much as we can get, right?
Yeah.
And you're the boss.
Yeah, right. I hope so.
It's amazing to look at the mountains and to just see how covered in snow they are.
It's like a reminder of years past. No, we
Right.
haven't had that, but we remember growing up, right?
Yeah.
In Utah, that's what it looked like.
Yep, exactly.
And so it's nice to kind of get back to that.
It is. Thanks so much, Lon. Appreciate that. All right, Wes. The Jazz, a little bit of a change after that long stretch at home.
Got to get out of town to get ready so they get the arena ready for the All-Star game, right? Yeah, the Jazz start a 4-game road trip tonight. They'll be in Toronto to take on the Raptors. And they got some good news before they left. Lauri Markkanen was named as a starter for the NBA All-Star game, which takes place right here in Salt Lake City a week from Sunday. He was named as a replacement starter along with John Morant and Joel Embiid, so Markkanen will be in the starting lineup. And today, Jazz general manager Justin Zanuck spoke for the first time about the trade the Jazz made on Wednesday, where they gave up 4 players, got 3 players in return, and received a valuable draft pick.
The main part of this trade was ability to acquire an asset that, again, doesn't come up very often. That's available, and the cost of that was, 3 veteran players. I'd include Nikhil too, who's been in the rotation. Four players that have really contributed to us this year. Anytime you're doing a trade of that magnitude, there's always going to be some stuff that, is hard. We were acquiring something that isn't very available very often, and allows us to add continued flexibility and endless possibilities of how we can build this roster.
The asset they wanted was the Lakers' first-round draft pick in 2027. They didn't necessarily want the players, especially Russell Westbrook. Westbrook could negotiate a buyout and never play here, or he could be in a Jazz jersey for the remainder of the season.
Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, is a Hall of Famer. He's accomplished so much in his career here and has shown that he can still play now and for years to come. We are open to all sorts of possibilities with him. He has been very positive on being here in Utah, and we've been very open to the possibilities of him. It's just ongoing discussions.
This deal is all about flexibility, and it gives the Jazz the ability to make more deals in the future.
That's why you do deals like this, to be flexible, to be very opportunistic on when those opportunities arise. I mean, they don't come up often, but sometimes they come up and then you just don't have the firepower to go do it, or you're not in the right set of team building. And there's no transaction of that level that we're not going to be involved in.
That is interesting. The Jazz will be shorthanded again tonight. They take on the Toronto Raptors starting in just a few minutes. The three players they got in that trade, Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano Anderson, and Damian Jones, have not joined the team yet. They all passed their physicals. They will be in New York tomorrow. At least two of them will be in New York tomorrow. Whether they play or not tomorrow night, who knows?
I think it'd be fascinating if we saw Westbrook actually suit up for the Jazz.
What if he breaks the triple-double drought that the Jazz have had in the regular season? He's the guy that comes in and gets a triple-double.
Stranger things have happened, but I feel like, well, that would be bananas.
I wouldn't bet on seeing him in a Jazz jersey.
We'll see what happens, and we'll be right back.